So Harish, you must have heard the saying that you should not put all your eggs in one basket. So yeah, through that investments, I was more focused on having quick gains.
Even I realized that point that I will have to find different ways.
So you can't learn about anything if you haven't gained experience by gaining a huge wealth.
Hey everyone, in today's podcast, we are going to talk about everything that you need in finance as an investor, as a beginner, everything that you will ever face in your life. This is the only reason we have this podcast today. For this podcast, we have Pratik Shetty with us, one of my dearest friend. Let us start with the little introduction, Pratik. Tell us about yourself, what you do, and how did you. And we also have a lot of questions that we are going to ask. So start with your introduction first.
Yep. First and foremost, thank you for having me here. So I've been investing in the stock markets and other investments since 4 to 5 years, and I've been looking out for various upcoming opportunities in the future to make more money and to guide the future youngsters of this India, to make a successful financial country, which is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely. A very fantastic, a very good introduction. And even in this introduction, he only talked about money and everything. So, Pratik, I'm going to start with a hard question first. Tell us about your experience when you actually invested in the market, but it didn't work out as you planned. And how was your experience? What were you thinking then?
All right. So, as a newcomer in the market, I was listening to other people and investing in the stuff as a few years back, and I faced huge losses because I trusted those people. But after that, as you know, a little kid puts his fingers on fire. I just burned my fingers as well. And after that, I came to experience that you should listen to the market, what the market is saying to you. And after that, you should learn about the market and then invest.
So, Pratik, looking back, do you remember the time when you didn't judge the risk of an investment, and how was it? Like, what was your experience on that? What do you think that you missed that time?
So yeah, before I used to invest, I didn't knew the rules and regulations involved around it. So I used to make zero judgment about all of those stuffs, and I used to invest in the market without knowing this. And after that, there were some taxations, there were some other rules and regulations which used to come after I have made the investments. Then I came to know that the losses which I'm making through those penalties and taxes is huge. Then my returns on the investments. So now I go through all the rules and regulations, and then I make a sound judgment before making any investments.
Can you share a time where a failed investment actually made you feel really down? How did you get back on track?
Also, when I was in college, I used to listen to my friends. I wanted to make as youngsters, we always want to make a quick buck. True. So listening to my friends, I started investing in the markets. But then I faced seriously huge losses. I borrowed that money from my parents to invest in the market. And after that, I have to hear taunts from my parents because of the losses I made. But then again, it's kind of a learning process, right? True. So you can't learn about anything if you haven't gained experience by gaining a huge wealth or by having a huge loss.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I believe that I invested that for getting a huge MBA degree.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my investment for getting a MBA degree without the degree. So yeah, in the stock market.
And how was your parents' reaction? Like, what they actually did they ask about the money and where you lost it or everything?
Yeah, I shared them that I invested in the markets, stock markets, and I faced a huge loss. I showed it to them that the markets came crashing down, and that's how. So the reaction was, that's all right. We can regain it back after you have gained experience in the stock market. So after that, I gained a lot of experience, through various investors who have invested in the markets. They mentored me. I became their mentee. And after that, through that experience, I started investing little by little, not huge investment, not by taking a huge investment. Yeah.
What's the toughest lesson that you've learned from a failed investment?
So Harish, you must have heard the saying that you should not put all your eggs in one basket. So that's how I gained my experience too. Before that, I only used to invest in stock markets, but now I look out for various investment opportunities which the markets are offering. For example, I invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts as well nowadays. And apart from that, I do SIPs, mutual funds, and stuff like that. So through that, I made various sources of income uh, in the future, which will be helpful for me in the longer run.
So basically, when I personally started, so I was mostly focusing on mutual funds and future and options, the trading platform where most of our investment, loses. We lose a lot of our investments there. So after a certain point, even I realized that point that I will have to find different ways where I can actually invest and I can actually make money, because obviously if you really want to invest, then you need that amount of money, that kind of money that you can put in different various platforms, and you can actually, money attracts money. That's the simple basic rule that we have to follow. Adaptation and change. Have you ever had an experience with your investment where you failed and that actually impacts your investment style? Have you changed because of that? And one more thing that I would like to ask you with this question is, what do you look for in an opportunity?
I failed. I had a lot of failed investments, and through that, which I have learned a lot as well. So I realized that I should slowly and steadily invest in the market. I should learn about it, and then I should look out for better company or better prospects, better prospective companies which can make good future-able returns. So that's how I started investing slowly and steadily. You must have heard about the hare and the tortoise story. So that's how I have adapted growth in the coming years. So yeah, through that investments, I was more focused on having quick gains, which was not good for me. So I started looking out for prospective companies which can give you higher returns in the coming years. So I started investing in them slowly and steadily. So that's how I'm looking to adapt growth in the coming years.
So this is the approach that you have right now.
Yeah.
So before this, you were into that quick gains game, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the point where you should understand you are a beginner or you're just starting an investment. Even if you are, even if you are investing for a long time, it's better that you keep this in mind always. You should not be in that quick gains scheme. See, if you really want to be an investor, then this is the only mantra that you should keep in your mind. There are no such thing as quick gains. Always remember that there is only one thing, that is a slow and steady growth that you guys should focus on. What is that one mistake that you did and you would want to warn the new investors so they don't repeat it?
So when I started investing in the market as a beginner, uh, I used to invest on trendy stuffs which are happening in the market. Trendy companies which are coming with new ideas and prospects. But then I realized that that's not how stock market works. You have to invest in the long term returns. So that's how I changed my mind. I started deciding that I should not follow trendy stuffs which are coming in the market. I should have a long-term vision and a goal to have a higher return, and I should invest in those companies which will give me prospective returns in the coming years.
I think everybody should follow this advice, and we've been talking about this in our entire video. If you just gonna summarize everything, and if you just want to summarize everything, then this is the one answer that I wanted you guys to just understand in the simplest manner. That is why I asked this question, and that is why that's the only reason that I included this question.
So I want to recommend to new and upcoming investors, youngsters especially who want to invest in the market, that you should research the market, study about the companies and study about the stock market well in advance, and then invest.
Biggest fear of every investor, biggest mistake that I think every beginner investors do. Have you ever decided not to invest in something and that actually turned out to be a big success?
I still regret those investments which I haven't made when the time came through, but I can regain it in the coming future by reinvesting in that things now. Because if I have huge gains through my stock market returns, so that's how. So nowadays I keep an open mind, to invest in new and upcoming future prospects in the stock markets. So that's how I believe we can all make money as a family of investors in the stock market for the longer run. So nowadays I'm looking out for opportunities and looking out for various other stuffs which are coming in the investment markets. So that's how I will, as an investor's family, we can keep making money in the longer run.
Pratik, can you think of a time when you thought the market is going one way and it was actually going opposite? How did that affect on how you invest, how you analyze the market now?
Yeah, Harish. Once or twice I thought that the returns will grow fast, but then it went the opposite direction, downwards, and the markets crashed, and I have to face huge and heavy losses because of that. But now I actually research thoroughly, and after that I make a sound judgment whether the investment is going to be upwards or downwards, and after that I bet on the companies, prospective companies or prospective investments, and then I invest.
So now we are moving to the last two questions we have for today. And these are the two questions that actually impacts how you invest and how much money you are actually going to make. Did you ever listen to your friend or your colleague about an investment that you are not sure about? So do they actually make an impact on your decision making?
So yeah, Harish, as I said you before that I used to listen to my friends. So during those days, it was the advent of the financial apps. They started showing up on Google and app stores. They used to show me these apps and they said that I've invested in this stocks and I'm having huge returns from it. So that's how I started making investments in the stock market. I thought that I'll make a quick buck, and that's a good prospect for a youngster like me, right? Sure. So I became greedy. Sure. So that's how I started investing, and but then I learned that you should never follow the advice of your friends and colleagues.
Because I know this is one of the biggest mistakes that we do as an investor. Correct, yeah. And even I have a lot of friends when we actually enter the market, we have a lot of chats about this is the place where you should invest, this is the brand, mostly in FNOs, if we do FNOs and everything. So that time we talk about this a lot during the market, even when we are investing. And that I feel that is the place where actually these conversations creates an impact or make you doubtful about your own decisions. I feel investment doesn't matter what kind of investment you do. There should never be a peer pressure, peer influence in this industry at least. After a big investment failure, how did you bounce back and keep going? What helped you feel confident again?
So looking back, I think you need to weed out your friends who are not positive people, who are not giving you positive advices for your life or regarding wealth, health, and things like that. So if you're ready to weed out those friends from your life, it will be better. And I think you should surround yourself with positive people who will give you a great health and wealth advice, who will advise you on various prospects. So yeah, this is something which I have to share. I wanted to share with the youngsters for a longer period of time, and that we should weed out some negative friend circle or negative people if they are surrounding you, and you should surround yourself with positive people who give you advice on great health, better returns on your investments, stuff like that, which will be helpful for you in your life in the coming future. I think surrounding yourself with more positive people will, affect you positively in the longer run. So that's what I believe, and that's what I think you should do as well. Because I have weeded out my negative friend circle from my group, so that's how I started, investing in good and high return investments in the market. So that's what I want you to do as well. So my advice to you will be to weed out negative people and focus on more positive people. Surround yourself with more positive people who will advise you a good health and a wealthy investment returns in the coming future. That's how I become, profitable, and I want you to do the same. Thank you.
I feel we have answered everything that a beginner or an intermediate investor would really want to know. And if you still have any doubts, or if you really want to know anything or any specific part of this video in advance, do let us know in the comment down below. There are going to be a lot of episodes with more such personalities that we have today with us. If you really like the video, like, share and subscribe. Tab tak ke liye.